Right, here we go.
How quickly does it take for your life to change? And this is a very general question and one that we've actually probably discussed a lot today, more so than I expected. In a year, there are 525,600 minutes, 31,532,000 seconds. And what portion of time does this take to make significant change, from cause and effect, beginning to end? Perhaps we can ask even further, what would it take for your life to turn completely upside down? And then once this happens, we may say, it depends how long this can take. Once this happens, how do we react? Do we crash and burn, or do we learn and grow from this experience? In the spring of 2021, my friends and I decided to take a trip. We had a long weekend for the Easter holiday. Why not? Who doesn't want to go spend a weekend in Las Vegas? And we had a lot to be grateful for. My friends and I, we obviously all go to Pepperdine. School was doing well. We were able to live in Malibu last semester. So we were doing great. We had just finished some exams, so we were feeling good about school, and had no reason not to celebrate and go on a fun little trip. I also had a lot of freedoms in my life at this point. I had my car. If you had asked me what my most prized possession was, I would say my car. It was my source of freedom. I could go anywhere at any point in time. I loved that feeling. Just even to drive when you feel bad. You know, you can just drive on PCH. That freedom is something that I've always connected to. I'd also saved a lot of money, so I was financially able to go on this trip. And I was also physically well to do the things that I love: hiking, yoga, outdoor activities. So for our trip in Vegas, we stayed at the Venetian. And we went shopping, forum shops, the crystal shops. We ate a lot of really good food at Catch LA, China Poblano, lots of different food. We had a great time. Everything was wonderful. And then Monday comes around and it's time to go back home. Terrible, beautiful Malibu. What a terrible thing. Who wants to go home? But we're ready to go. We got breakfast, took our time. The traffic wasn't too bad, even for a holiday, so we were very lucky on that part. And then we decided, right outside of Vegas, there are the 7 Magic Mountains, these beautiful colored rocks. A lot of people take pictures, us being college girls. Of course we're gonna take pictures, why not? This is the perfect opportunity. So we head out on the freeway, we get off the freeway, and I'm driving, it's my car, with my 3 friends. We stop at the stop sign, it's a T intersection. And there's a sign that says, 7 Magic Mountains, turn left. And then to the right would just be another access road. So I stop at the stop sign for a good 5 seconds. A good 5 seconds. Not a rolling stop, like a good, decent, I've stopped. Because I want to figure out where I'm going. I'm turning left. Got to read the sign again. So I go to make a left turn after stopping, and a semi-truck hits us. Speeding too fast, I couldn't see it. And it's funny because these events no one else remembers except for me. My friends don't remember at all. Nothing. They only remember stopping, and then they remember the car stopping. It spun about 270 degrees, almost to 360, and we ended up in the rocks. And I remember everything. I remember seeing the semi-truck come suddenly. I remember the car spinning, and I remember stopping in the rocks. And it was just a whirlwind, but I could trace out every single second for you. Once we had stopped in the rocks, I immediately felt a pain in my arm. I kept saying my thumb was hurting, which was kind of strange, but I knew something was wrong. My friends got out immediately, and I was a little stuck to get out of the rocks. But but I eventually got out, and I was mentally okay. I was like, okay, this just happened. We're gonna deal with this. And then I saw my friends, and they were a wreck. They were a mess. They were crying. It was terrible, and that's when I lost it, because I felt extremely remorseful, responsible. I had been driving. It was completely my fault. I hated myself immediately. They eventually transported me in an ambulance. I got a little dizzy, felt like I was gonna pass out, and I ended up breaking my ulna, a bone in my forearm. And of course, this limited me physically for an extremely long period of time. I was in a cast for 7 weeks. After the accident, I had to go back and forth between Las Vegas and Malibu for my doctor's appointments. I couldn't do the things that I loved anymore. My car was totaled. My most prized possession, the one thing that I really needed in my life. And mentally, of course, I had to live with the fact that I was responsible, in a way, for what happened and the damage that it caused on my friends and their lives. Luckily, my arm was the worst injury. My one friend had a concussion, and the other 2 girls were okay. So it could have been much worse, but I still felt extremely responsible. So I was forced to either let this event define me or to learn and grow. And from this experience, I've developed a new sense of inner strength and gratitude for the things that I have. So if you were to ask me again, how long does it take for your life to change? How long does it take to turn upside down? The average car accident from beginning to end is 30 seconds. I would say it takes about 30 seconds.